Das folgende Video wird euch präsentiert von IntelliAd, der Performance-Marketing-Plattform. Welcome to Venture TV. Welcome, Ren Fishkin, SEO Mastermind. Ren, what's wrong with SEO? It's like it used to be so predictable. Like there were these SEO geniuses. They put up sites and just bought some links and also spammed links, and then the site ranked and they earned tons of money, and it doesn't work anymore. What's wrong with SEO?
Well, I think from that perspective, Google is what's wrong with SEO, right? Google essentially said over the years, we don't love the results that we're seeing from people who manipulate the link graph, right?
They were pretty right.
And they were pretty right? Users didn't enjoy that stuff as much. They didn't see the brands they expected to see. And so Google has taken more and more action over time to promote the kinds of signals. Links are included in that, but other signals as well that say this is the type of website we want to show to users and the type of website that makes people who search happier and want to search more and more.
Good stuff, at least for the users, but not for the SEOs out there who really, make good money with their sites and with their consulting businesses. And it's not that easy to do that anymore, right?
Yes. So I guess I would say it's not as simple, but SEO experts, right? People who knew how to manipulate all of these types of signals, at least the good ones, they've evolved with Google, right? So as Google has changed, they've changed their tactics and their strategies and what they do as well. And they've found ways to have a big impact in the new era of marketing through Google.
When you want to evolve with Google, that is quite hard work, I'd say, because I see that in your presentation. I didn't know that before. Google changes the algorithm. How many times was that? More than 500 times every year? That's right. Amazing.
Yeah, so more, on average, almost twice a day.
Wow.
Right?
It's not just about panda and penguin and hummingbird. It's about changes twice a day, which is really weird.
Yeah, and some of these changes are big ones, right? Bigger ones like a panda or a penguin or a hummingbird, these kinds of things, these named updates. But there are a lot of substantial changes that happen in the search results that are not nearly as clear cut. And in fact, if you are an SEO, I think this is one of your superpowers. Yeah. You know how to keep up with those.
Yeah.
And that's something that very few other marketers have a requirement of in their job or know how to do.
Okay. What you said is that the richest become richer. Like the ones that have the highest places on Google, they stay there. And many guys in the audience are startup founders. And it's especially hard for them. They have a new site. How can they ever be in the top, let's say top 10, not even top 3, but top 10? How can you make that when you have a young project, you want to be up there?
Well, so this is, in some ways, I think that barrier to entry is a very healthy thing, right? It requires that in order to outrank the incumbents, the people who are already ranking those top spots, you can't just be a little bit better. You have to be exponentially better than those other results. And that means better not just from a sense of satisfying users, but also from the sense of earning awareness, earning shares through social, earning brand awareness, earning links and mentions. All of those things will combine to get you those rankings. That being said, Google actually has something very special in their algorithm to reward sites and pages that are up-and-comers, right? So they have this, Google has this concept called query deserves freshness, right? QDF. Query deserves freshness essentially says, for these types of searches, we would prefer to list something that is new rather than something that's old and crusty but has a lot more links, has a lot more brand power. Because of that, if you are an up-and-comer, a startup, for example, you have an opportunity to take some of that market share by targeting your content to those queries that people are looking for in a fresh way.
All right. So what things can I do when I'm a young startup? Should I pay attention to anything, or should I just go and create my product and not worry about Google anymore, because you can't reign Google kingdom and you can't make it anyway? So should I still pay attention to metrics and stuff to put on my website?
Yeah, I would urge anyone who's in the startup world to think very strategically and very strongly about Google and about every marketing channel, right? So you should not look at SEO and say, well, that's really hard. I can't just buy my way into the top 10 anymore. I'm going to do something else. You should look at every channel and say, is this where the people who want to find me, who are most likely to find me, are? Or is it not the place? And is this going to be a channel that can move the needle for my business or not? And sometimes that might be traditional media, and sometimes it might be social media, and sometimes it might be content, and sometimes it'll be SEO, and sometimes it'll be just word of mouth, right? We had a $19 billion sale of a startup yesterday, 2 days ago.
Right. WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. They didn't do a lot of SEO.
True.
Right?
True.
I mean,
not at all.
To be fair, they did rank pretty well for a lot of messaging app and free messaging app and these kinds of things.
Okay.
But they earned that through the power of their product and through the word of mouth and the branding that they generated, not through thinking very strongly about SEO. A different brand, Yelp, one that's worth many billions of dollars now, they started their product thinking pretty strongly about SEO. They said Google is where people go to try and find restaurants and hotels and stores and all this kind of thing. How can we have a strategy that fits well with what Google wants and searchers want, and with a unique product we can provide? So you got to be strategic about this.
Okay, so you'd recommend don't build a business based on Google because that can change really fast. But the old rules start to count again. Build a great product and the rest will just come.
I wouldn't quite say that, right? Build a great product, but be thinking about SEO and every marketing channel strategically before you build your product.
Right, yeah.
If you go build your product and then go, okay, now I want to rank, you're crazy, right? Like you have really lost the power of baking the ability to, for example, earn links, mentions, shares into your product, right? Having some viral component baked in there that lets you potentially take advantage of Google in a way that you wouldn't if you hadn't considered it.
So you don't really have to think like an SEO anymore. You moreover have to think like a good marketer who loves the product.
A good marketer who loves the product and who has...
And knows SEO.
Yeah, has deep knowledge of SEO.
Okay, good. Thanks for your advice. Thanks for the smart words, and thanks for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure, Andre. Thanks for having me.